Your cruise fare isn't the real price of your vacation. The real bill shows up later after a week of tiny taps on that cruise card. So here's the question that decides everything. Are you cruising? Or getting picked apart one charge at a time? First-timers walk onboard thinking all-inclusive. By day 3, they're staring at Wi-Fi that costs more than their phone plan, a spa menu that hits $300, and photos priced like fine dining. They don't see the traps until they're already in them. But smart cruisers? They know exactly where the money disappears and how to stop it cold. And that's what you're about to learn. 13 ripoffs the cruise lines hope you don't notice, starting with the one almost everyone pays for before they even finish unpacking. The first trap hits you before the vacation even begins. Wi-Fi. It sounds harmless until you see the price and feel your stomach drop. Here's the moment every cruiser knows too well. You're still unpacking, scrolling through the app, and suddenly the ship reminds you that staying online is a luxury now. $10 to $20 a day just to message people, up to $35 if you want video calls. A full week package that climbs past $300 without blinking. And the signal? Sometimes smooth, sometimes acting like the ocean swallowed it whole. That's where the tension kicks in. Do you really want to spend your sea days babysitting a spinning wheel? But can you actually unplug without missing something important back home? Smart cruisers make the choice simple. They switch to airplane mode the second the ship pulls away, then wait until the next port to catch free Wi-Fi at a cafe or in the terminal. Others skip Wi-Fi altogether and treat the week like a forced reset. No notifications, no feed, just ocean. And here's the twist. Cruise lines don't advertise. Even the ones that claim to offer free Wi-Fi often hide a setup fee or a time limit designed to nudge you toward the paid upgrade anyway. So the smarter move? Decide before you sail whether you truly need to be online. Most people don't, and the ones who unplug almost always end up enjoying the trip more. Stay sharp, because the next ripoff isn't digital at all. It's soft lighting, relaxing music, and a price tag that jumps the moment you lie down. Cruise spas are masters of timing. Just when your shoulders finally drop and vacation mode kicks in, they show you a menu that feels more like a luxury tax than a treat. A simple massage? $200 to $300. And that's before the auto gratuity slips quietly onto the bill. The room is calm, the lighting warm, but the price snaps you right back to reality. And then comes the subtle frustration every frequent cruiser knows. You're not getting 60 minutes of hands-on bliss. There's the skin analysis, the product pitch, the "your muscles would love this upgrade" conversation. Relaxing? Yes. Worth the premium? Not always. That's when you start questioning yourself. Do you stay and surrender to the ambience, or walk out and reclaim the sunlight and sea breeze you already paid for? Smart cruisers choose something different altogether. They skip the pricey one-off sessions and buy access to the thermal suite, hot stone loungers, steam rooms, hydrotherapy pools, and unlimited sanctuary without the constant sales script. And the clever part? Embarkation day and port days often come with quiet, unadvertised discounts. Same facilities, far less damage to the vacation budget. Once you see how spa pricing works, the pattern becomes impossible to unsee, especially when the next money trap literally poses you in front of it and charges you $25 for a smile. The photo trap usually finds you before you even realize it's happening. You're stepping on board, the excitement's fresh, and suddenly a photographer waves you into a perfect little pose. It feels harmless, almost fun, until you wander back later and see the price tag. $25 for a single print, more for the digital file. A bundle deal that quietly creeps into the triple digits. And if you've ever seen the wedding or vow renewal packages, those numbers climb fast. The strange part is this: the photos aren't bad. They're just unnecessary in a world where every passenger carries a camera better than what studios used a decade ago. That's the moment a little guilt shows up. Not because you love the picture, but because someone took it for you, and now it feels rude to walk away. Then comes the real dilemma. Should you buy it? Should you skip it? Did you actually smile that well? Or does the gallery lighting just make you think you did? Seasoned cruisers don't get pulled into that dance. They let the photographers do their thing, enjoy the moment, then snap their own shots with their phone. And when they want a group picture, they simply ask a crew member. You get a natural pose, a genuine smile, and the price is always zero. There is one exception worth keeping in your back pocket: formal night. If your family is dressed up a rare sight both at sea and at home, buying 1 or 2 prints actually makes sense. It's a moment you can't easily recreate. And once you understand this little game, the next ripoff becomes even easier to spot, because it dresses itself in elegance, pours champagne, and calls the whole thing exclusive. Art auctions on board look irresistible at first glance. Soft lighting, Free champagne, a host who speaks like every canvas could change your life. It feels exclusive until you start paying attention. Most of those pieces aren't rare originals. They're mass-produced prints dressed up to feel important, paired with appraisals that sound official but exist mainly to justify the markup. Passengers walk in thinking they're discovering a hidden jewel. They walk out wondering why shipping a free gift print suddenly costs $30. And the real shock comes later. The buyer's premium, the packaging fee, the overseas shipping, the framing options. By the end, that great deal quietly balloons far beyond what the art is actually worth on land. This is where experienced cruisers make a different choice. They show up for the vibe, enjoy the bubbles, maybe clap at a dramatic bid, and then slip out before their wallet gets invited to the party. Unless a piece truly means something to them and they're willing to pay for emotion, not investment, they don't bite. Because the cruise line isn't selling art, it's selling the idea that you've stumbled onto something extraordinary. And that exact strategy appears again in the next ripoff. Only this time, it hides behind the word duty-free. Cruise ships know exactly how to turn shopping into a storyline. It starts with a friendly seminar promising insider deals at the next port. You sit down thinking you're getting travel tips. And 10 minutes later, you realize the entire session is a guided path to a handful of stores that paid handsomely for the privilege. The shopping expert isn't just helping you. They're earning commission every time a passenger walks through those doors. That's why the same names appear again and again. The diamond shops, the watch sellers, the free charm boutiques where the charm is free, but everything else screams markup. Meanwhile, the truth is hiding in plain sight. Walk a block or two away from the port, and the exact same items fall back to normal price. Better selection, less pressure, no scripted experience. The onboard shops follow the same playbook. The signs flash duty-free, exclusive, today only, yet the numbers don't magically turn into bargains. Most of the time, you're paying for the convenience of being captive on a ship, nothing more. Seasoned cruisers treat these stores like museums. Fun to browse, maybe grab a logo souvenir, but never a place to make big purchases. They save the real shopping for the streets, not the stage. And that mindset becomes even more important for what comes next. A ripoff that pretends to simplify your day, but quietly charges you 30 to 50% more for the privilege. Cruise excursions look comforting on paper. One button, one schedule, one guarantee. The ship won't leave without you. But once you compare prices, the illusion cracks because those tours are often 30 to 50% higher than what the exact same operator charges on land. And the experience? It frequently feels prepackaged. A bus ride, a photo stop, a predictable souvenir detour, then straight back to the pier before you've even tasted the city. The tension starts right there. You want better value, but you also don't want to be the passenger waving helplessly at a ship that refuses to wait. That's why seasoned cruisers shift their strategy instead of choosing one side or the other. Ports with beaches, walkable towns, or short travel distances, they go straight to trusted local operators, smaller groups, better prices, more freedom. Ports that require long drives, tricky routes, or tendering, they stay with the cruise line and buy security instead of surprise. There's another advantage people usually discover by accident. Booking before you sail often comes with lower pricing than anything sold on board. Once you understand how the excursion system works, the math becomes simple. Pay more when timing matters, pay less when the port is easy. And the pattern doesn't stop there. Back on the ship, the next money trap hides behind flashing lights, adrenaline, and a price tag that climbs faster than the go-kart itself. Modern cruise ships aren't just ships anymore, they're floating amusement parks. And that's exactly where the next ripoff hides. The moment you see the go-karts, VR simulators, zip lines, or a roller coaster hanging over the ocean, your brain lights up. It looks like pure fun until you check the price board. $15 to $20 for a single lap, $20 for a short F1 simulation, $30 for a few minutes in a VR room. A quick coaster ride that lasts less than a minute, also not cheap. If you're traveling with kids, the total climbs before you've even caught your breath. The real dilemma shows up fast. You want the experience, but you don't want your vacation to become a running tab of 30-second thrills. Cruisers who've sailed a few times handle it differently. They choose one big activity the whole family can enjoy, set a firm budget, and skip the rest. Then they focus on everything that's already included: water slides, mini golf, deck parties, shows, trivia, pool games, hours of fun, zero surprise charges. And once you start seeing how quickly these paid thrills add up, you'll be ready for the next reality check too. A place on the ship where the odds are stacked against you long before you even sit down. Step into the ship's casino at night, and it feels electric bright lights, ringing machines, people cheering like someone just hit a jackpot worth writing home about. But behind all that excitement is the cruise line's favorite math problem. They win more when you think you might. Slots are tight, tables move fast, and the house edge does exactly what it was designed to do. If you're not careful, a quick look at the casino turns into a quiet walk back to your cabin wondering how the bill climbs so fast. What surprises many passengers is that the casino isn't just about money, it's about psychology. The longer you stay, the more the ship earns. And bingo works the same way. Those cheerful announcements and free cruise prizes sound generous, but the buy-in isn't small, and the fine print usually shrinks the reward. Frequent cruisers approach it with a different mindset. They treat these rooms like entertainment, not opportunity. Set a limit, use the player card to grab points or the occasional perk, enjoy the atmosphere, and walk out when the fun hits its peak, not when the losses do. Handled that way, the casino becomes a game, not a regret. And you'll want to keep that sense of control handy, because the next ripoff looks deceptively delicious served on a white tablecloth in a room designed to make you forget the price entirely. Specialty restaurants are designed to seduce you the moment you walk by. Dim lights, sizzling plates, a host greeting you like you're about to enter a secret club. It feels elevated, exclusive. And then you see the price. A steakhouse dinner, sushi omakase, teppanyaki show, each one quietly pushes your onboard bill higher than you planned. And here's the subtle frustration many cruisers don't expect. While those restaurants are great, the dining room and included venues are often already serving excellent meals. You're not paying for better food as much as you're paying for the idea of something extra. The real pressure appears on longer cruises. Menus in the main dining room sometimes shrink just enough to make you wonder whether you should upgrade for a night. It's not accidental. It's a nudge, gentle but intentional. Experienced travelers don't fall into the every night mentality. They pick one special meal if it genuinely excites them, or they skip specialty dining entirely and discover how good the included options really are. Lunch reservations, when available, often cost noticeably less and give you the same quality without the evening premium. Handled with intention, these restaurants turn into highlights instead of habits. But eating smart is only half the battle, because the next clever ripoff looks innocent, cheap, and absolutely essential until you add up the bottles one by one. Bottled water sounds like the cheapest thing you'll buy on a cruise until you start buying it every day. One here, two there, a small case delivered to your cabin, and suddenly you've spent more on water than on a shore excursion. The irony? The water on the ship is already filtered to a high standard. It's the same water you drink in the dining room, at the buffet, and at every bar. But put it in a branded bottle, and the price climbs fast. Basic packages in the teens, premium brands pushing $40. That's where seasoned cruisers change the equation. They bring a reusable bottle, fill it at the buffet, grab ice water from any bar, and walk off the ship with a full bottle in hand. No waste, no upcharges, no surprises. If you already bought a drinks package, the bottled water usually comes included anyway, a detail many people don't realize until they've overpaid. Once you stop treating water like a luxury item, the savings become obvious. And you'll want that mindset ready, because the next category is the most debated one on any ship, a package that looks all-inclusive, but rarely is. Drink packages look like freedom. No receipts, no mental math, no second-guessing every cocktail. But that feeling comes with a condition most passengers don't realize until they try to break even. To get your money's worth, you often need 6 to 8 alcoholic drinks a day, every day. And that calculation doesn't hit the same when half your time is spent off the ship exploring ports, or when you discover the bar you like best isn't where you thought it was. The real friction shows up in cabins with 2 adults. If one person buys the alcohol package, the other usually has to buy it too, regardless of whether they drink at the same pace. Suddenly, the good deal doubles before you've even ordered your first round. Cruisers who know the system take a different path. They choose the soda or refreshment packages instead, cheaper, more flexible, and packed with everyday value like specialty coffees, bottled water, juices, and mocktails. Others skip packages entirely and enjoy happy hours, beer buckets, or simple pay-as-you-go tabs that end up being far cheaper. Once you stop chasing the break-even point, the pressure disappears, and the drinks somehow taste better. But the next fee doesn't care how much you drink, it targets you simply for traveling alone. Cruising alone sounds peaceful. Your schedule, your room, your rules. But the price tag tells a different story. Most cabins are priced for 2 people, so when you sail solo, the cruise line quietly charges you for the missing guest. 50% more. Sometimes a full 100% more. It's one of the few ripoffs that doesn't hide at all, yet still catches travelers off guard. And it creates a strange emotional tug. You're excited for the trip, you love the idea of your own space. But seeing a doubled fare for a cabin you're using alone, that stings. Experienced solo cruisers work around it instead of giving up. They hunt for ships that offer dedicated solo cabins, follow low-season sales when surcharges drop, or use travel agents who know which itineraries quietly reduce the supplement. Some lines even award double loyalty points when a solo passenger pays the full fare useful later, but not a savings today. The key is timing. Catch the right sale, and that painful fee shrinks. Miss it, and you're paying for a ghost roommate who never showed up. And if you think that surcharge hurts, the next category hits even harder, because it shows up when you're sick, stressed, or desperate for cash. Some charges hit you not because you chose them, but because the situation backed you into a corner. Take the ATMs on board. Nobody plans to use them. You try to stretch the cash you brought, and then suddenly you need a little extra for tipping, for a vendor in port, for something small. The machine is right there, glowing like a lifeline. You tap it, and instantly regret it. $6 or $7 just to access your own money, plus whatever fee your bank adds on top. You didn't overspend. You were unprepared, and the ship knows exactly how expensive that moment can be. The medical center works the same way, just with higher stakes. Nobody wakes up excited to visit the doctor on a cruise. You go because you're worried, or uncomfortable, or in pain. And when you're in that headspace, the bill doesn't just surprise you, it overwhelms you. A quick consultation lands in the hundreds. Any test or treatment climbs even faster. And because the ship doesn't bill your insurance directly, you pay everything up front before dealing with reimbursement later. Different situations, same pressure point. When you lose control, the prices rise. Cruisers who've learned this the hard way prepare before they ever step on board. They carry enough cash to avoid ship ATMs, use land-based machines when needed, pack a small kit of essential medicines, and buy travel insurance that actually covers medical care and evacuation. These aren't fun purchases. They're protective ones because the last place you want to negotiate costs is when you're sick or standing in front of an ATM with no other option. And that theme continues into the final ripoff. A place where the items are tiny, the prices are huge, and the convenience is the real trap. There's one last money trap almost everyone walks into: the onboard shop. Nothing flashy, nothing dramatic, just shelves full of tiny items with surprisingly large price tags. A small tube of sunscreen, motion sickness tablets, pain relievers. On land, they're forgettable. On a ship, they become premium purchases, sometimes double, sometimes triple what you'd normally pay. And if the shop happens to be closed when you need something, the medical center steps in, and the numbers jump even higher. This corner of the ship doesn't catch you with excitement, it catches you with urgency. People walk in because they need something right now, and urgency is the most expensive feeling on board. Cruisers who've been stung by this once rarely repeat the mistake. Before sailing, they slip a few small problem solvers into their luggage. Nothing bulky, nothing elaborate, just enough to keep minor issues from turning into pricey emergencies. And when something isn't urgent, they wait until the next port. A pharmacy or convenience store on land resets the prices to normal instantly, turning what would have been a $25 onboard purchase into a $3 errand during a morning stroll. You've seen how the smallest onboard choices can snowball into real costs. And cruise lines know it. None of these ripoffs look dramatic on their own, but together, they can turn a great vacation into an expensive surprise. The moment you recognize them, everything shifts. You walk on board aware, confident, and in control of what you spend. Smart cruising isn't about cutting back. It's about choosing where your money actually adds to your trip. Now I'm curious, which charge or upsell have you fallen for before? Your story might save someone else a lot of money. If this helped, tap like and hit subscribe for more ways to cruise better, cheaper, and stress-free.